Hello guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how I trade the market maker model and combining SSMT to confirm my trade entries. As you know, price goes from key level to key level, and when doing so, we accumulate, then distribute, accumulate, then distribute. There's usually 2, it could be 3, it doesn't really matter until it hits the key level. And this image is sell side. This is just a general picture they should have inside your head when trading. Obviously it doesn't look this perfect in real time, but it's just important to know that it hits a high time frame key level. That could be a liquidity sweep, fair value gap, maybe there's a SMT, and then it distributes lower, accumulates, distribute, does that over and over until it hits the higher time frame key level. It's also important to understand sequential SMT, which I break down in my last video, so you should probably watch that video before we continue. I'm going to break down one of the weeks from this year, but I'm not going to dive too deep into how I enter trades. If you want to see how I enter, I actually break down every single trade of the year where I show the possible entries. The purpose of this video is more about bias and where optimal trade entries occur. Now, to get into the actual trade example, on January we've been trading down to previous month's low, December's low, and also into this monthly fair value gap. And inside that monthly fair value gap, we create monthly SSMT with ES, and that confirms the market maker bottom on the upside. As you can see, accumulation, then distribute, more accumulation, then distribute into this key level. And another important thing to understand is every down move into a liquidity sweep is another sponsor move higher. This is especially important on a lower time frame because this happens a lot, and you can find a lot of trade opportunities based off this logic. Now, the reason I don't expect this high to be taken because we have a quadrennial cycle SMT with ES. As you can see, this is December's high, and now we're in January. ES took it and NQ failed to do so. So we can expect to move lower after sweeping out these highs. If you zoom in even more, you can see that we have multi-cycle SMT with YM, as this was last week's high on Friday, and this is the same high on YM, and they didn't take it. Now that you know that price is bearish, you can look for possible targets. As you know, after distributing, we usually create imbalances that have to be filled, so you can target fair value gaps, these lows, or these relative equal lows right here. Now, to get into some actual trade examples, on February 20th we create daily cycle to the upside with ES taking London's low and NQ doesn't. As you know, this fades the higher time frame narrative, so we can use this SSMT to take London's high and create another SSMT to the downside, and I expect this one to get respected and this one to get taken out. As you can see, we create another daily cycle with NQ taking it. I'm not gonna dive too deep into entry triggers, but maybe an inverse entry. And you can see price disrespect this one and plays to the downside. This is the following trading day. As you see, yesterday we distributed down, taking this daily fair value gap and then started heading higher, but price is still bearish, and we created weekly cycle with NQ taking Thursday's high and ES doesn't. And with this, you could enter maybe off this inverse, and you see price heads down. You can target previous day's low. This is the following trading day. You see yesterday weekly cycle SMT, we distribute down a lot, and I wouldn't look to balance this range just yet unless we create some type of higher time frame SMT or we take this low out. For this trade, we create daily cycle with YM. YM took London's high and NQ didn't, and you can look for a trade lower. Maybe sweep out this liquidity because this high would be protected from the SSMT, and you can look for a trade lower. Now we took out this low. Continuing on with yesterday's trend, we create another daily cycle. YM took London, ES and NQ doesn't. and you can look for a trade, say ISD, see price dumps. The next day we create weekly cycle with YM and ES, taking yesterday's high and executing it, this yesterday's high, and you can look for a trade lower, say CSD or something. Past 2 days we failed to take out this low right here, and now we have relatively good low, so this is a pretty clear draw. And I don't expect this high to be taken because we have weekly cycle SMT attached to it, but it still can take this high and still respect this, but it's highly unlikely. And you can look for a trade lower from here. You see. Now for our last trade, we finally took out all these lows, so we can look for some rebalance. And in the afternoon, at around 1, we created daily cycle with YM taking, since we're in the afternoon, this is PM session, so it will be daily cycle with New York AM. And from here you can look for a trade higher, balancing this range. Like I said earlier in the video, if you want me to go over the trade entries, I have it in my Discord that you can join. As you can see, it's the exact same trades. And I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.